Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Transregional Kitchen. Today, our guest is Hilal Alkan. So, Hilal, if you can kindly introduce yourself.
Sure, happily. Nice to see you, Estella. So I'm Hilal Alkan. I'm a researcher on migration based in Berlin. I work at the Leibniz Zentrum Moderner Orient, which we can translate as the Center for Modern Oriental Studies. Um, I have been mostly interested on informal welfare and gift giving and also migration for the past maybe 10 years. But for the past 5 years, I have been working on how migrants relate to plants, what plants come to mean in their lives, and how they care for the plants, and this, like, what is the outcomes of this interaction, this close, intimate connection with the plants.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And thanks for accepting my invitation to be part of the Transregional Kitchen. So today, Hilal will explain to us how to cook Yoğurt çorbası. So if you can give us a little bit of context about the dish, where that comes from, if you used to cook it before migrating to Germany, and if you can find all ingredients to cook that in Germany as well, like, I mean, same stuff as in Turkey, or if you need to readapt anything once you get out of the country. I mean, it would be very interesting to have a little bit of context on how the dish became important, like in Turkish cuisine. I would say, like, maybe like in the region in general, right? Like, as in Arabic speaking countries, they use yogurt, like laban, a lot, like in several foods. So I'm interested myself, like, in seeing like how that becomes, like, remains an important dish in your daily diet, even like outside of the region where maybe yogurt made things like are a little bit less popular. I think, like in European countries. And as an Italian, like, I wanted to add myself that when I went to the Middle East first, it was like quite new to me to taste the things that were salty, like salty food, but combined with yogurt, because yogurt is only combined with sweets and dessert and that kind of stuff. So that once you taste it, I can ensure that it's really worth it. And now I cook with yogurt myself all the time.
Yeah, yogurt is quite important. I mean, we put it almost on every dish, and especially for children, it is like if a child doesn't like any something, then you just add some yogurt, and then it works better. So anything can go with yogurt. Any food can go with yogurt, and especially rice tastes really good. And so hence this chorba, this soup. I mean, what to say about it? Like, first, the name, it is yoğurt çorbası, as you said. That G is silent in Turkish, so it is yoğurt. And that yoğurt çorbası is also named as yayla çorbası or düğün çorbası. Yayla is these high plateaus on the mountains where the pastoralists would take the animals, especially the sheep, in summer. So it is the summer pastures, yayla. So it is when you have most the best milk and yogurt and cheese and all the other like dairy stuff are the main staples of everyday life, as you don't really have much access to grains there, and also you don't have much access to your garden there. So it is either foraging or you have the animals and the animal produce. So it is yayla çorbası at the same time, which you cook mostly in summer, and we eat it in winter as warm, but also in summer as cold. So you just cook it and then leave it to get cold, or you cook it without the eggs. So you don't need to actually cook it, but make it ayran çorbası. So it is just yogurt and cooked grains and water mixed, and you may always add butter on top of it, and still, or you use like some vegetable oils, some olive oil, so that it would still go well when it is cold. So it's a very versatile soup, and one can add so many other stuff in it, like the legumes, like the chickpeas, for example, or make it with not with rice but with wheat, a special kind of wheat, not bulgur exactly, but a bit just like processed, not just like really whole grain wheat. Uh, and as I said, either warm or cold, you can drink it anytime. And soups are very important in the Turkish cuisine, but also in the regional cuisine, I would say. I mean, it was once the proper breakfast to have the breakfast with certain soups, not all of them, but many of them. And still, in some parts of Turkey, it is quite common to have soup in the morning. Not anymore in urban middle for urban middle classes, but still, it is something doable. Especially with that special soup, you may know it, tarhana, the dried soup, instant soup, that's homemade instant soup, let's say, that's prepared like over quite a long time at the end of summer with some tomatoes, chickpeas, again yogurt, and lots of herbs and spices and paprika. And it is made like into a dough, and it ferments over the days. Like for about a week, you wait for it to ferment, and then you dry it, and then you make a powder out of it. And in winter, then you again have the vegetable soup. And that soup is also used to be widely drank in the mornings as well.
Wow, I've never heard of Tarhana, you said, like,
Tarhana. I
uh,
can show you.
but mostly used in rural areas in Turkey, you were saying, and not anymore, or just the habit of
No,
having soup even for
I
breakfast?
mean, it is just the habit of like consuming it, not anymore in the mornings, not anymore for breakfast in any urban context, but in the evening, you always start any meal with a soup in Turkey. So it's kind of like the first, the entrée, the Vorspeise. So it's the first thing you eat, and so tarhana is still very widely drank everywhere, and each region has their own tarhana.
Oh, excellent! Like each, yeah, Turkish region, like.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what ingredients shall we prepare,
For
Hilal?
this yogurt one, yes. Just let me close the door first so that the cats wouldn't harass me. Yeah, they would immediately smell the yogurt and come. So, as expected, we have yogurt.
So yogurt, and I just got, yeah, normal yogurt. Like if you are vegan, you can get oat cream, I guess, or maybe like the texture is not gonna be the same, right?
I wouldn't expect, but I have never tried, to be honest. So I really don't know. But I saw on the web some vegan recipes, so it may work. But then you would also need to skip the egg, and you would also need to skip the butter. So it would be a different thing. Probably very good still, but would be different.
So only one egg.
It's just one egg.
Then I've got 500 grams, I guess 400 grams of yogurt.
Yeah. And we have butter to be added at the end.
Butter to be added at the end.
And some flour.
And
Any kind would work.
yeah, Weizenmehl.
This is not whole grain. This is just the white
Okay.
flour. And of course, we need rice.
Yeah.
Yes, my rice is already cooked. I
Excellent.
I boiled like 1/3 of a cup of rice with 2 cups of water, and it came out like that. So it needs to be still watery, gluey, and quite soft. And first wash the rice, of course. It's a bit
And
dusty.
also, like importantly, you were saying, Hilal, we'd better not use basmati, right? Like
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yes, some very some rice types that have a distinct taste. I mean, doesn't taste right to me, but it's also, of course, just habit. It may taste quite well to somebody else who likes yasmin or basmati, but for me, they have a very strong taste. So I prefer to use uh, round grains like risotto rice. In Turkey, it would be osmancık or
Otmancık.
baldo, which is quite expensive though, but still can be used for the soup as well. But not also long grains. They are too spiky, let's say. So more like with the rice that one can use in a rice pudding would work well in this.
Ah, okay. Like so same kind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or like even yeah, Italian you were saying which type? I don't know it myself. Like
yeah.
it's
But
yeah, I don't remember the name now. Yeah. That's okay.
that roundish thing I can show. This kind of
Yeah.
rice. Yes.
So yeah, I followed your suggestion and just got the right one for this. So shall we cook the yogurt first?
No, we don't cook the yogurt first. Yogurt and egg and flour should be mixed cold.
Okay, a mixed.
So you just put in this 400 grams of yogurt into a bowl.
So yeah, let me get the flour. So you put it in a bowl. You said flour. How much?
Let's see. I'm coming in. How much is always a very good question.
Mm.
You know, I mean, you also probably never work with like measurements, I suppose.
Yeah, like always.
See how much.
Right.
Like this much?
Oh wow. Okay.
Big
Yeah. Yes.
spoonful.
Let's say a couple of spoons or 3 spoons.
Yeah, like a heap on a spoon. Maybe a little more.
And sorry, Hilal, I kindly ask you if you can frame what you're doing so that we see.
Oh,
Okay,
like
so the
that?
bowl is there. So
Oh,
the
okay.
whole 400 grams of yogurt
Yes,
is already in the bowl. Okay. So,
exactly.
yeah. Because I'm learning myself.
Yes. So let's work like that.
Okay, so flour, yogurt, not using salt yet, right?
No, this is the trick. The salt has to be added at the very, very end, like after everything is cooked. If you add it early, it makes the consistency wrong. It doesn't come out creamy, but it comes more like buttermilky.
Mm. But we haven't added butter yet, right?
No, butter also comes at the very, very end. So we just cooked the rice, and while the rice is cooking, normally how I make it is like that. While the rice is boiling, I mix the yogurt, flour, egg.
Okay, so egg is already inside, or you still.
Egg is here. It will just go inside.
Okay, just a little bit more of flour for me. Okay. And egg, we use it all, right? The
Yes,
white and the yellow.
everything together.
You use a hand whisk.
Yes, I use a hand whisk. It needs to be consistent.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so after we whisked it and it became really creamy and consistent, we add some water on it to dilute it and whisk again.
Cold water, mild
Not
water.
just cold water. I mean, we use tap water here, so just simple cold tap water.
So just showing that I'm whisking it myself.
And I add just one more glass.
And I think this is the stage at which people like might want it a little bit thicker or more liquid, right?
It is very liquid at this stage because it's going to get thicker when it is cooked. So
Okay.
now we are moving
Yeah.
to the stove. I mean, normally, if you just boil the rice while you are mixing stuff, then the rice and the water there will be quite hot. It would be boiling. So it is important to add this mixture slowly and all the time mixing. Otherwise, the egg would just like cook very quickly and you would have egg particles in it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we just add this mixture over the rice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we put everything now in a pot like this, and one can boil it on medium heat, but you need to keep mixing. So
Wow.
that
Okay.
it shouldn't just like boil on its own. When it boils on its own, again you lose the consistency. Here the trick is about the consistency. I
So
don't know.
please do remember, like just for people, that Hilal haven't yet like added any salt or garlic. Everything comes later.
There is no garlic. Garlic never comes in.
Ah, okay. Sorry about it because I think, yeah, I think, I mean, it's just like
I think that with the
Lebanese.
garlic will go wonderfully, but not in the soup.
Okay, so wow, yeah, okay. See, I'm just confused
Garlic,
because
but
I
it will
sometimes
be
use it, yeah, for Lebanese and Syrian foods. Yeah.
yeah, and eventually we will put some mint on it. So we keep mixing and until it boils. But as I said, it shouldn't just like boil. You just like will see these like plop plop plops, and the
Needs to be
bubbles
on
will
the
come up, and then you move it to very low heat, and so that it wouldn't just boil on its own.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so our soups are almost boiling, right? I see the first bubbling. And now it is time to add the butter. I mean, I make the soup as a vegetarian just with water, but it's also possible to use uh, like different kinds of stock. People usually use is it called the meat stock?
Yeah, like chicken
Meat
broth
stock
or beef.
broth. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's possible to use it, but I don't. And here is the butter, the amount of butter we are going to use. Something like, I guess, 25, 30 grams,
Yeah, yeah.
more or less.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you measured it?
Yeah, you just mix it like in.
No, you just put it on a small pan
Okay.
and you melt it.
Ah, we need to melt it first.
Yes, we will melt it. So let me take it here. By the way, if your soup is too thick, you can always add water and boil it just a little bit more. Mine is like this. This is the consistency I am looking for. Let me show you with a spoon. So, like that. And in the meantime, the butter is melting. And here now is for me, the most important thing is the mint. So
Yeah.
this is a dried mint. I mean, there are different types of mint. This is the one that is known as usually like in, in the bubble gums, you have the spearmint and the fresh mint. This is that fresh mint. The spearmint has a very different taste, and it has a very dominant taste, and it just really destroys the soup for me. And so I always only use this dried fresh mint. And one can also just buy it fresh and also dry it. But putting it in fresh is not good. It becomes like a, how to say, I don't know, it loses the texture.
Yeah.
Yeah, cooking fresh herbs is not a very good idea, I think.
Okay.
So
But
the
not
oil,
added yet, right? I mean, not the mint stage yet.
no, we are just now melting the butter, but the mint will come into the butter.
Ah, okay.
So you need your dry mint at hand at the moment.
So you were saying, Hilal, that we can add some chili as well.
Yes, we can add some chili flakes, or if you don't like spicy, then maybe just like some paprika powder, just to give some color. And all of these spices should go into the butter. So I put some mint into butter,
Yeah.
like
So I'm gonna show.
how much? Like 2 teaspoonfuls, these large teaspoons, maybe even a little more, and a bit of chili flakes, much less, like this much.
And you are still simmering the whole thing on the fire, or did you turn it off?
I turned it off because now the consistency is right and it has boiled, so the egg is cooked. Then no need for it to boil anymore. But I just turned on the butter so that the spices would just become a bit like cooked with the butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just I change the frame again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
spices with mint, dried mint, and butter all
and
together.
they all come together. And now is also the good time to add the salt.
How much salt should we add? I'm gonna frame.
So that's a matter of taste, of course, but I add like this. I have this very tiny teaspoon. Teaspoons we use, not the regular teaspoon, and I put like about 1 teaspoonful.
Mhm.
But you can just taste and add more. And then we mix it.
Yeah. I'm gonna frame what I'm doing myself. Butter, mint, spices, paprika or chili,
Yeah.
salt, one egg, flour, and yogurt and some water. So it's just to recapitulate a little bit. Recapitulate. Like my English on a Monday morning is not that great.
And this is a very easy soup. I mean, like very few ingredients, and also you can always make it with the leftover rice. That any boiled rice would just turn into a soup next day. Then, if you have the rice ready, it would take you like less than 10 minutes to prepare the soup. So it is perfect if you come home to hungry kids and you need to fix something. It just really works well. That's so since I came to Germany, I mean, this has been one of the main dishes we have been eating because it is so easy to
Wow.
make. Yeah.
And at this stage, you just add the rice into the yogurt.
The
Correct.
oh, It was already mixed.
Ah, okay, sorry. Yeah, I hadn't added the rice already. Ah, no, well,
Oh,
yeah, I did. Sorry, I
you
did.
did. It
No,
is
no,
in
no,
your,
I
it
did.
is in your
I
pot.
saved the part of it. I forgot about it. Right. Okay, excellent. So the soup is made in 20 minutes.
At most, yeah. Yeah. So it is pretty easy.
And is it something that you easily find in Turkish restaurants in Germany?
Yes, most of them make it, but I never have it like in a Turkish restaurant because why?
It's mostly a homemade
Yes, it's like a
habit.
homemade thing. Yes, and then because we also have it like all the time, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like paying for it. Just going to a restaurant and having the soup.
Yeah, but like it's interesting how we find just some particular dishes, right? I mean, no matter how simple it is to cook them or whatever, like sometimes, I mean, they're kind of incorporated like into the commercialization of food, like in particular cultures, and other types of food instead never really get to be sold, like
That's
in a
true.
sense,
Yes,
as
yes, yeah, there are many. But I mean, the soup is always in the menu in Turkish restaurants, and they always have like at least two, three types of soups. One is almost always some kind of like a lentil soup.
mercimek. Yeah.
Mercimek is just like fixed mercimek or ezogelin. And each restaurant, each person makes it differently. So there is no standard. Somehow it's always delicious. And
And so,
and also this yogurt.
and yeah, like definitely, like it's not, let's say, it's not being classified like as a local food yet, right? Because you don't find it in restaurants in Germany. I mean, I'm asking this because in the UK, there are things like small desserts or whatever that clearly, I mean, are not like have not been made locally for years, but they kind of became a local thing to have because you find it that much around, and eventually like just I mean, ends up being seen as a local food in a sense, like
You
um
mean like local British food or
or no, like I mean,
Arabic?
Portuguese custard tarts. I mean, the
Yeah.
pastéis ginata. You can find them literally everywhere, like in all cafeterias. So it's pretty normal in London, like to see it and have that, and see it like as a thing that you find
Mhm.
without claiming it as English. But like people start taking it for granted that when they sit and have coffee, they can have pastel ginata, and it's just called like a custard tart. So that's what I mean. I mean, like despite the preservation of the origin, and people do know that. I mean, it's easily findable, and therefore it's seen, right, like it's experienced as a local food in a sense.
Mhm. I think with the soup, I mean, you can also find it in the restaurants, but it's also very homemade, so quite widespread. More or less everybody does it, as far as I know.
So let's show again the dish to the audience, the
Yes,
finalized dish.
please, here.
Mine as well. And yeah, like you can add more rice, less rice. I think I put 2 little rice myself. So yeah, you can of course do it at your liking.
Yes, and one can always add water to dilute it. Even when you just like heat it up, warm it up the next day, you can still add some water to dilute it if you find it too thick. Because some rice has more starch and it just gives away the starch over the night and becomes gluey. So you may need to add some more water.
And just to conclude, Hilal, like if you wanna suggest any particular research you recently did, like to our audience, so that they can look it up, as like you are an expert, like in the ecosystem as well, right? Like of like foods and plants, and it does connect to healthcare as well. So please, I mean, do share like any title that you suggest we read?
A book chapter I have written about roots, a vegetal story of migration, about the roots, has just come out in an open access book, which is called Narrating Multispecies Worlds. So it can be easily found. I'm making at the moment two special issues. One is coming out with the Cambridge Journal of Anthropology this winter. And I have an article there about plantifying emplacement. So how the proper homemaking of migrants and the emplacement of migrants happens through their interactions with the plants, and what roles plants play in this proper positive situatedness in the new homeland. And another one is coming out in the social and cultural geography, another special issue. So you may check these.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I will definitely put it in words so that people can easily access them in the transcription. So do not freak out if you missed any title. So thank you so much, Hilal,
Thank you,
again.
Michaela.
And yeah, we will see you soon. And of course,
Yes,
afiyetol soon, to you.
another.
I'm gonna have, as I mentioned, I'm gonna have yoğurt çorbası kahvaltı gibi, for breakfast. And
Awesome. Enjoy your soup.
thank you. And thanks everyone for being with us.
Bye.